So here's the situation. The only one up right now is me and the cat, and I think he's happy to have some attention. So I'm gonna come kick it with him while I kick it with you. Here's my situation. It's 4 o'clock in the morning. I can't sleep, despite the fact that I've taken sleeping pills, and I was wrestling with as to why I could be so restless, but I know why. See, it's time that I come to you and I come clean. I need to get this off of my chest. It's it's weird because see, here's the thing. In the end, when it comes to this family, it always works out in the end. Always. Every single time. I'll give you a little bit of backstory. Not that you haven't heard it a million times before, but I need to stress this so you know where I'm coming from. In 2015, I think it was. Actually, yeah, I guess it was late 2014, 2015, somewhere in there. I ended up getting a job at Downtown Sacramento Partnership, which at the time I thought was an awesome job. And it was for what it was. I worked 4 10-hour shifts in a week. I got 3 days off. I had vacation time, I had sick time. I was semi respected by my peers, and it was nice. But a mistake cost me all of that. And what is it, Kitty? And I ended up spending 12 hours in jail. Low point of my life. At the time, my mother in law and I were not on the best of terms, but it was her who had to sign the papers to help get me out. I then spent months trying to get that paid off. I had to take a class. I had to pay $200 to take a class to get that off of my record, on top of the money I had to pay to get the bail money together, so that wouldn't be hovering over me. And since my mother-in-law had co-signed for it, it was very important that I get that taken care of. And I did. And I moved on. From there, I really felt like we had hit an all-time low, and my entire family went out. And there was a time I was collecting unemployment for a bit, but that was running out, and Kari and Asia went out and found work, which was fine. But then the unemployment ran out, and it was time to go back to work. So I ended up in VF Outlet. My whole family was at VF Outlet, and it was okay. But they had no intention of keeping all of us, despite the fact that nobody said it was a temporary job. They wanted people to help construct their store, and they got what they needed, and they discarded everybody except for Asia, which was fine because that prompted me to take our very last $200 and I spent it on a guard card because I was like, I'll get a job in security. That'll work. And it was really starting to look like nothing was going to pan out for me. Then I got the call, and it ended up being my dream job, and it was fantastic. We were on top of the world. I was bringing in more money than I had ever really seen. I was respected. I worked with police officers. It was an amazing job. Then I got promoted, so now I'm in a truck. So now I've got even more freedom. I'm all over the place. I'm doing whatever I want to do. I'm taking Ages to the store. I'm sitting out in the parking lot eating chicken wings. Watching Netflix, just waiting for something to happen. And stuff very rarely happened, and it was fantastic. And I got laid off. Not through any fault of my own. It's just the contract that we were under ran out. My place of business didn't have much else to do with us, so it was back to unemployment, which was fine. And the plan was very simple. Unemployment would get me through the rest of 2017. And then come January, February, I'd file taxes. Once those were taken care of, that would take us clear to May. And it will. It actually will. Everything's going to go from here clear to May with no problem. Come May 1st is when we'll have our first major problem. So it sounds like everything is under control. But herein lies the problem. Here's what happened. February came and we got a little bit of money in our pocket, and I was overzealous. I took for granted that because marijuana was now legal in the state of California, that I'd be able to secure work regardless to if I had an edible or two. So for a weekend, man, we went all out and we had a blast, and it was great. And now I'm left with the impression that may not have been the best of ideas. Now, I can't tell you which video it was, but I'm sure that in one of my videos at some point I said, I'm just going to push forward. There's no point in looking back. Let's just get it done. What happens from here is what happens from here. And I'm still there. But I could tell you two things for certain. One, in the end, it always works out for this family. Somehow we pull it off in the end. Somehow we make it work. Somehow we, through the skin of our teeth, at the last possible minute, at the last second, we work it out. That's what we do. And the second thing, and probably most important, is that it always works out that way because I have moments like this where at 4 o'clock in the morning I am battling a headache beyond belief, and I'm stressed and I'm nervous and I'm concerned. I have concerns that, I went to an interview today that didn't go the way I wanted to, and now I feel as though I may have burned a bridge with that particular organization. I've got an interview later on today, and I feel like if I go and I do a good job, maybe, just maybe, he's going to be like, drug test. And I'm going to be like, what? Nope, can't do it. And that will be a bridge that I burn with that company. And I don't want to keep burning bridges. I don't want to lessen my chances. But at the same time, it's already the middle of March, man. Like, something has to happen. Like, I've decided that I'm going to go to this interview later on today. Like, of course I'm going to go. And if they say drug test, I'm going to be straight up with them and say, look, there's probably going to be marijuana in my system. Is that cool? Like, what do you want to do? And if this doesn't work out for me, I'm going to have to take some time, start drinking detox teas, drinking more water, trying to get this out of my system, because it's not like, I smoked a bowl or something. Like, we had some edibles, but I need to get my system to a point where it's pretty cleaned out. So maybe in a couple of weeks' time, we'll be kind of reset and I can get back out there and I can try again, which really, really cuts down in response time. Now, I have to think worst case scenario, but truth be told, the old man's looking at me as, truth be told, I only applied for 2 jobs on Monday, just 2. I reworked my resume. I put in 2 resumes and sent an email for 2 jobs. On Wednesday, I had an interview, and before I could go to my interview, which was yesterday, I got another call for the one that I'm going to today. And if that's the response time that I can expect, then I can expect that it would be fairly easy. But the problem that I'm having is I don't want to cut it so close. Now, I was telling Asia yesterday now, that the worst case scenario, May is going to come around and I'm going to have to call the property manager and say, hey, look, I'm in sort of a bad way. Give me a little bit of time. And I'm sure they'll work with us because they've worked with us in the past. But if they don't, I'll have all of May and all of June before I have to worry about it. But come June 30th or July 1st, however you want to look at it, if I don't have something worked out, they'll be expecting me gone from this apartment. And that's worst case scenario. Stop it, kitty. Stop it, buddy. Don't murder me. I'm doing a video. See, I say that that's the worst case scenario, but I've never, ever in my life gotten an eviction notice. But if we get an eviction notice, if there's a notice on our door that says you got 60 days to get out, I don't know if they'll be willing to take money in the end, So that's not an avenue I want to pursue. I don't want to push that. So whatever I want to do, I want to get it done in the month of April. So come May, even if we're a little late, we're just a little late. So that's where I stand. I come to you with a concerned tone in my voice. I am legitimately concerned. But at the same time, I know us well enough. My cat is going crazy. I know this family well enough to know we always work it out. But there are times like this, times like right now, where I find myself overly concerned, where I find myself nervous and jittery. I don't want to burn bridges. I don't want to mess this up. There's too much riding on this, But I guarantee that we always get through it. It might take me a little longer than I would like it to. It's funny. That reminds me of something my father used to say to me. The old man still looking at me. He would always say, if there's something you want, you have to let me know ahead of time and give me the time I need to get there. And sometimes it was a little later than I would have expected it to. But he always came through in the end because that was just his thing. And I like to think that that is also my thing. So it will work out. It absolutely will work out. That's a level of confidence that I have in me and this family, because my family gives me all of this trust and all of this confidence to get it done. How could I let them down? How could I not? I kind of have to. So I'm not going to let this family down because they've entrusted me with their lives, and I'll get it done. But there have to be moments like this, moments where I'm nervous. No. Moments where I'm nervous. Moments where I'm afraid. Moments when I'm concerned. Moments when it's starting to look like this might not work. But it always does in the end. Always. Absolutely. And that's not me trying to convince myself. I know this. I know it for a fact. But the only reason it works out is because I feel like this from time to time. This is not the first video that I've done where I've said things like this. It's just I have to hit this point. It lights a fire under me, I guess. I prepare for worst case scenario. So when it doesn't come down, miracle worker, I did it. I told you it wasn't going to be that way. But it doesn't take away from this feeling that I have right now. It's bothersome. It's absolutely bothersome. But I'll get it done. I'll get it done because it's what they expect of me. And Lord, no. It's funny. I don't know if I really live up to the expectations that my family have. My son sees me in a certain way. My wife sees me in a certain way. I used to concern myself that my son didn't see me as successful, or my son didn't see me as somebody he could be proud of, but that couldn't be further from the truth. My son adores me, and that's awesome. My wife thinks the world of me, and that's awesome. And I, in return, think the absolute world of them. I truly, truly do. And that's why I have to do this. That's why I can't let these people down. So, do what I have to do to fight the good fight. Because it's what I do.